Hey everybody, Some Gadget Guy here, somegadgetguy.com, and if you've been following any of my Windows Phone coverage, you would see a lot of Nokia. They tend to dominate the discussion on what's happening with Microsoft's mobile operating system. Well, I felt it was important to check in to see what other manufacturers are also doing with Microsoft's mobile OS, and so today we're going to check out the Samsung ATIV S Neo on AT&T. And this is not an unboxing video. They always land a little harder than I think they will. So let's get on to talk about the phone. What we have here hardware-wise is very similar to what Samsung did with the Galaxy S3, which in no way, shape, or form means that this is going to be a bad phone. In fact, Windows Phone tends to run even better on lower-powered hardware than Android can. We've got a 4.7-inch 720p screen. We've got the same Qualcomm dual-core that's pretty much in every Windows Phone device minus the Lumia 1520. We have an 8-megapixel camera, which shoots 1080p video. We've got a decent little speaker. We've got a nice little camera flash right there. Headphone jack at the top, volume rocker on the side. We've got the dual stage dedicated camera button, which all phones should have. All phones should have a dedicated camera button. I don't care what operating system they're on. You should be able to start the camera with a push of the button from the outside of the phone without having to look for an app. And in true Samsung fashion, the backplate is removable, which exposes your battery, SIM card, and the ability to add more storage via micro SD card, making this one of the few Windows Phone devices to support expanded storage. Built-in storage is technically 16 gigabytes, but of course that means after formatting and all of the additional software that Samsung puts on there, you're probably only going to start with about 10 gig of storage ready to go. I have to say, I think it's a really nice touch seeing the lit capacitive buttons and the hardware center button. Again, this is sort of a Samsung aesthetic, but they've managed to find a way to translate that into a Windows Phone device, and I think that's pretty clean. General fit and finish is very nice. Again, you kind of know what to expect if you've ever handled a Galaxy S3 or a Galaxy S4 when you pick up the ATIV S Neo. It's a very similar glossy plastic. It's a very slippery phone. If you have sweaty hands like I do, this becomes sort of a wet bar of soap proposition. Even against other glossy plastic devices like the Lumia 920, there's just a slightly better gripability with this type of polycarb as opposed to the very lightweight and glossy, shiny plastic found on the ATIV. And it is kind of funny comparing it to some of my other Samsung devices like this Galaxy S4 Active, where it's ever so slightly just a little bit narrower. It's ever so slightly just a little bit shorter than the Galaxy S4, and it makes it feel just slightly more phone-like. And for those of you who might be concerned about such things like screen resolution, at under 5 inches, I still have a hard time telling 720p from 1080p. You really have to put the two screens right up next to each other with an extremely detailed photo or super small text to start being able to notice differences in that kind of resolution. Where there might be a little concern for Windows Phone shoppers is in the software experience. Nokia has taken the ball with Windows Phone and thrown all of their developer support behind expanding this platform. And pulling up the Nokia collection versus the Samsung Zone, you can definitely see that disparity at play. It's not to say that Samsung hasn't thrown any cool services at Windows Phone shoppers, it's just that the Nokia platform is a little bit more fleshed out. It's a little fuller ecosystem. Even though I'm only 2 days into playing with this phone, I'm immediately struck with the fact that Samsung went after camera and tap and share first. There's a proprietary Samsung app which allows you to tap and share with other Samsung devices, be they Android or Windows Phone. And like Nokia, they've provided their own Windows Phone camera app to allow you to do things like shoot HDR photos or beauty shots. It's a very nice experience, and I'm gonna be really curious to play with this a little bit longer to see how it pans out on Windows Phone, as I genuinely do like the camera app on Samsung devices for Android. And maybe best of all, this is fantastic hardware to start throwing at the mid-range. Devices like this ATIV S Neo, your Lumia 920, your Lumia 925 are now all coming in at $50 or less on a 2-year contract. Compared to where we were even just a year ago with some of our smaller ATIV smartphones coming in at the $50 on contract price point, that's remarkable progress. And it just furthers my feelings that moving into 2014, that the low end and mid-range is gonna be where all of the exciting things are gonna happen next year. Yes, our premier phones are still gonna get better, but the kind of experience that we can get at the low end and entry level price points is going to be phenomenally good. So folks, I'm gonna play with this a little bit more. You can expect to see my speaker test, my camera test. Those should arrive in the coming weeks, and then I'll check back in, let you know how I feel about using the ATIV S, especially against some of the wonderful Nokia devices that are currently out in the marketplace too. See if we have a solid competitor. You'll just have to tune in to see this kind of a showdown. And as always, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. I've been seeing some phenomenal support online. I can't thank you guys enough. Leaving comments, posting on Google+, other social networks. Thank you, and I will catch you all on the next review.